Shalom, shalom. I welcome you to this channel of Jesna Soro Media. I'm welcoming you tonight. Those of you who are saying their place it is during the day. I welcome you all so that we can learn together. We are going to learn about a man, a patriarch that you know very well, called Abraham. Abraham was afraid of God, and there came a time where God wanted to test him. But like Job, it was as a result of what Satan had accused Abraham of. You can imagine Satan went to accuse Abraham that Abraham was not as good as God claimed him to be. So the work of Satan is to accuse the brethren. So I want us to look at a book that is not in the Bible. It's among the lost books. There are so many books that were not put in the Bible. So we are going to check from the book of Jashar. The book of Jashar, that is where we are going to read. And I have a book. The book is here with me. This book, it contains a few other books, but there are many more. This is just one of them. So let us look at the book of Jashar, chapter 22, from verse 46. Yeah, 22 verse 46. Yeah, and you can Google this book and check for yourself. But for now, let us use what I have. And the day arrived when the sons of God came and placed themselves before the Lord. And Satan also came with the sons of God before the Lord. So the sons of God had gone to see, you see, most of the times, or always, the sons of God go to present or to place themselves so that they can take orders from Almighty God. And you can imagine Satan followed them the way he did during the time of Job. Let's see what happened. And the Lord said to Satan, "From where do you come?" And Satan answered the Lord and said, "From going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it." You see, Satan has no business, but he's a cunning being. He said, from going to and fro, walking here and there aimlessly. Okay, let's continue. And the Lord said to Satan, "What's your word to me concerning all the children of the earth?" And Satan answered the Lord and said, "I have seen all the children of the earth who serve you and remember you when they require anything from you." That is one accusation. Satan said, well, I've seen those children who remember you when they require something from you. That's an accusation. And when you give them the thing which they require from you, they sit at their ease and forsake you, and they no longer remember you. Have you seen Abraham, the son of Terah, who at first had no children? Now Satan has begun accusations. He's asking God, have you seen Abraham, whom you gave a son the other day and he didn't have a son? What is the accusation? Let me repeat. Have you seen Abraham, the son of Terah, who at first had no children, and he served you and erected altars to you wherever he came. Let me go back a little bit. I've seen all the children of the earth who serve you and remember you when they require anything from you. And when you give them the thing which they require from you, they sit at their ease and forsake you, and they no longer remember you. That was the accusation of Satan concerning Abraham. Let's see. Have you seen Abraham the son of Terah, who at first had no children, and he served you and erected altars to you wherever he came, and he brought up an offering on them, and he proclaimed your name continually to all the children of the earth. So Satan is saying, before Abraham got a son, he was faithful. He was erecting altars and sacrificing for you. What about now? Let us see. Is that happening now? And now that his son Isaac is born to him, he has forsaken you. He has made a great feast for all the inhabitants of the earth, and he has forgotten the Lord. So before this, Abraham had called friends to celebrate the birth of his son Isaac. He was overjoyed. You can imagine, for all those years having no child, and now a child is born to him. You can see this man, he had all the reasons to call his neighbors and friends and do what? And celebrate. But Satan is not happy when we are celebrating. For amidst all that he has done, he brought you no offering. Satan is very keen. So Abraham had forgotten. You see, he was celebrating, God has remembered me, but there was no sacrifice or offering. Neither burnt offering, nor peace offering, neither ox, lamb, nor goat, of all that he killed on that day that his son was weaned. So Abraham was had a party when his son was being weaned. And Satan observed. You can imagine, Satan was also there as an invited guest, a gate crasher, to observe everything that happened on that day. And he noted so many animals were killed. Yes, but none of them was offered to God. And he took note of that. Even from the time of his son's birth until now, being that 7 years, he built no altar before you, nor brought any offering to you, for he saw that you gave what he requested before you, and therefore he forsook you. That's an accusation. You see, when you are accused, it is you are now being put to test indirectly. Let's see what will happen. And the Lord said to Satan, have you thus considered my servant Abraham? For there is none like him on earth, a perfect and an upright man before me, one that fears God. So God also is recommending Abraham's character. Okay. For there is none like him on earth, a perfect and an upright man before me, one that fears God and avoids evil. As I live, were I to say to him, bring up your son Isaac before me, he would not withhold him from me. Much more if I told him to bring up a burnt offering before me from his flock or herds. So God is telling Satan, I know Abraham, I know him very well. And if I required his son, if I told him that I need him to sacrifice his son, he'll do that. If I need any ox, he will also sacrifice that ox to me. Let's see what Satan says. And Satan answered the Lord and said, then speak to Abraham now, as you have said, and you'll see whether he will not transgress and cast aside your words this day. He told him, now you are saying that Abraham can give you anything. Today, go and tell him to do exactly what you have said. And you'll see that he'll not do that. Okay, let us now go to chapter 23. The first verse there. At that time, the word of the Lord came to Abraham, and he said to him, Abraham. And he said, here I am. And he said to him, now take your son, your only son, whom you love, even Isaac, and go to the land of Moriah. Remember, Abraham had 2 sons. So he was told to take his son, whom he loved, and also Isaac. Okay? The other son, Ishmael, was a bit bigger. He was a bit older than Isaac. Okay. And God, now take your son, your only son, whom you love, even Isaac, and go to the land of Moriah, and offer him there for a burnt offering on one of the mountains, which will be shown to you. For there you'll see a cloud and the glory of the Lord. Now that is a very big test. His only son. You see, it is his only son because this was a son who was promised to him by God, a covenant son, and he had waited for this son for very many years. Okay, and Abraham said within himself, how will I separate my son Isaac from his mother Sarah in order to bring him up for a burnt offering before the Lord? He's wondering now, how will I separate my son and his mother? Because Sarah loved her son very much. And Abraham came into the tent and sat before his wife Sarah, and he spoke these words to her. My son Isaac has grown up, and he has not for some time studied the services of his God. Now, tomorrow, I'll go and bring him to Shem and his son Eber, and there he'll learn the ways of the Lord, for they'll teach him how to know the Lord, as well as to know what he prays continually before the Lord. He will answer him. Therefore, there he will know the way of serving the Lord his God. So Abraham tried to devise a plan, and he told Sarah, I want to take Isaac to go and learn about the law of God. Let's continue. And Sarah said, you have spoken well. Go, my Lord, and do to him as you have said, but do not remove him at a great distance from me, neither let him remain there too long, for my soul is bowed within his soul. So Sarah has given conditions. She has agreed, okay, you can take him, but make sure I can see my son. So whoever is going to teach him, let them teach him while I'm still watching from afar. Okay? And Abraham said to Sarah, my daughter, let us pray to the Lord God, that he may do good with us. Now Abraham got confused. He didn't know now what to say. The plan did not work after all. And Sarah took her son and Isaac, and he remained all that night with her. And she kissed and embraced him and gave him instructions until morning. And she said to him, oh, my son, how can my soul separate itself from you? And she still kissed him and embraced him, and she gave Abraham instructions concerning him. So Sarah was fond of her son, and that is quite, it is normal, and it happens. mothers and sons, they are inseparable. You cannot separate a son and a mother. And so is a daughter and the father. Okay. And Sarah said to Abraham, "O my Lord, please take heed of your son and praise your eyes over him, for I have no other son nor a daughter but him." Remember, this is the only son to Sarah. For Abraham, he had Ishmael, the boy that he got with Hagar, the maid. "Oh, do not forsake him. If he is hungry, give him bread, and if he is thirsty, give him water to drink, and do not let him go on foot, neither let him sit in the sun." You see, Abraham was at that time was receiving instructions from Sarah, but Sarah did not know the real plan. So you can imagine. Now he was told, "Now look here, make sure." You see, a baby who is being weaned is about 2 years or so. Now make sure if he gets hungry, you feed him, and do not let this boy stay in the sun. Of course, young children, they are affected by the sun. Okay, now let's continue. "Neither let him go by himself in the road, neither force him from whatever he may desire, but do to him as he may say to you." So Sarah here is telling Abraham, make sure my son does not go by himself on the road. Yeah, take care of my boy, and make sure that whatever he asks, you give him. I'm very sure that Abraham started becoming worried. I wish he had just spoken the truth. And you know, sometimes truth hurts, but sometimes it sets us free. Let's continue. "And Sarah wept bitterly the whole night on account of Isaac, and she gave him instructions until morning. And in the morning, what happened? Sarah selected a very fine and beautiful garment from those garments which she had in the house that Abimelech had given to her." You see, when a mother gets a baby, she receives presents for the baby. So Sarah had received garments from Abimelech. "And she dressed her son Isaac with that, and she put a turban on his head, and she crossed a precious stone in the top of the turban. And she gave them provision for the road, and they went out. And Isaac went with his father Abraham, and some of their servants accompanied them to see them off the road." So Sarah finally has agreed, okay, you can go with the boy, although she did this half-heartedly. You see, she wept. Imagine, she wept the whole night. Let's continue. "And Sarah went out with them, and she accompanied them on the road and see them off. And they said to her, 'Return to the tent.' So Sarah was told, now you can go back to the tent. And when Sarah heard the words of her son Isaac, she wept bitterly, and her husband Abraham wept with her, and their son wept with them a great weeping." You see, I think they could feel that something is not all right. Okay. Also, those who went with them wept greatly. Okay. "And Sarah caught hold of her son Isaac, and she held him in her arm, and she embraced him and continued to weep with him. And Sarah said, 'Who knows if after this day I will ever see you again?'" We always say that the tongue has power to bring death or life to a person. Listen to those words. As we continue, you'll know why I've told you. Underline that. Who knows if after this day I will ever see you again? and they still wept together. They are still weeping. Abraham, Sarah, and Isaac, and all those who had accompanied them on the road wept with them. And afterwards, Sarah turned away from her son, weeping bitterly. She's still weeping. And all her men servants and maid servants returned with her to the tent. And Abraham went with his son Isaac to bring him up as an offering before the Lord, as he had commanded him. So finally, Sarah has allowed her son to go. But you can see, I think it was very difficult for that woman. I can imagine her pain, because I also have sons, okay? So deep inside, it's only that she could not have said no. Because you see, she also knew that Abraham always received instructions and commands from God. Okay, let's continue. And Abraham took 2 of his young men with him. Who are these? Ishmael, the son of Hagar, that is the first son, and his servant Eliezer, and they went together with them. And while they were walking in the road, the young men spoke these words to themselves. So Ishmael and Eliezer started a conversation. And Ishmael said to Eliezer, "Now my father Abraham is going with Isaac to bring him up for a burnt offering to the Lord." How did Ishmael know this? Ask yourself, how? Who told him? Okay? As he commanded him. Now when he returns, he'll give all that he possesses to me to inherit after him, for I am his firstborn. So you can see Ishmael and Eliezer, they are competing for possession. And Ishmael is very proud because he's the firstborn. Let's hear what happens. And Eliezer answered Ishmael and said, "Surely Abraham cast you away with your mother." So you can see now Eliezer is telling Ishmael, "What are you talking about? Abraham had already cast you away with your mother." Okay, let's continue. Okay, let me repeat there. "Surely Abraham cast you away with your mother and saw that you should not inherit anything of all he possesses. And to whom will he give all that he has? With all his treasures, but to me his servant who has been faithful in his house, who has served him night and day, and has done all that he's desired me." So Eliezer here has decided, he has started showing Ishmael that since Abraham had sent you away with your mother, okay, you do not deserve the inheritance. And he imagined, because he had been a faithful servant, that he would inherit whatever was to be given to Abraham's son. Okay, so you can see they are not worried. In fact, they don't care whether the son Isaac dies, or in fact it is their joy, so that they can possess whatever Abraham had. Okay, is that one reflecting what is happening today? Okay, to me he will bequeath at his death all that he possesses. You see, this is just a wild imagination. Eliezer is saying whatever he has, he's going to give me when it comes to his death. And while Abraham was proceeding with his son Isaac along the road, Satan came and appeared to Abraham in the figure of a very aged man, humble and of contrite spirit. And he approached Abraham and said to him, now Satan has, first of all, he had said that Abraham will not agree to be tested. But now he has seen for sure this man means business. So don't think that he's going to give up. He doesn't give up. Okay? Satan himself has now followed them. As who? Don't think that when Satan comes to test you, he'll come like a very ugly being with a tail and two horns and big protruding teeth. No, he knows how to change himself. Are you silly? That is the question that he asks Abraham. Are you silly or brutish that you go this day to do this thing to your only son? Are you silly? For God gave you a son in your latter days, in your old age. And will you go and slaughter him this day because he committed no violence? And will you cause the soul of your only son to perish from the earth? You can imagine this man is still very is disturbed actually, because yes, it is God who told him, but this test, it is just too much. It's only that Abraham would not say no. Okay? Higher. Do you not know that do you not know and understand that this thing cannot be from the Lord? He has started putting doubts to Abraham. For the Lord cannot do to a man such evil on earth to say to him, go, slaughter your child. So Satan is suggesting that the Lord cannot tell anyone to go and slaughter his son. Okay? And because he has disguised himself, it is very hard to know that if you are not connected to God, it is hard, very hard to know that it is Satan who is speaking. And Abraham had this and knew that it was the word of Satan who endeavored to draw him aside from the way of the Lord. But Abraham would not listen to the voice of Satan, and Abraham rebuked him so that he went away. So you can see Abraham was so much connected to God that he was able to see this one is Satan, because he knew, he distinguished between the voice of God and the voice of Satan. Do we distinguish between the two? Do you know when God is talking to you? Do you know when Satan is talking to you? Okay, because Satan can also turn himself into an angel of light. Yes, in the book of the first book of Adam and Eve, there is a story there of Adam and Eve after they were sent away from the Garden of Eden, and they were deceived so many times. Satan is able to change himself. He changed himself and disguise himself as an angel of light. He can come with a lot of light. So that light, you may think that this is now the angel. No. Let us see. And Satan returned and came to Isaac. Okay? When Abraham rebuked Satan, he ran away because he realized that, this guy really knows me. He has really recognized I'm the one deceiving. He has not given up. What happened? He goes to Isaac. And he appeared to Isaac in the figure of a young man, handsome and well favored. Yeah, to Isaac was not very big. He appeared like a young man, very handsome and well favored. Let's see. And he approached Isaac and said to him, do you not know and understand that your old silly father brings you to the slaughter this day for no reason? Okay. Now therefore, my son, do not listen nor attend to him. You can imagine Satan has the audacity of calling Isaac my son. You can imagine that. Do not listen nor attend to him, for he's a silly old man. A silly old man. He knows how to use adjectives very well, describing Abraham. And do not let your precious soul and beautiful figure be lost from the earth. So he is enticing Isaac, your beautiful soul, and your precious, it is precious and beautiful figure. Do not agree to let it disappear or get lost from the earth. And Isaac heard this and said to Abraham, very good, the boy was wise. Like father, like son. Have you heard, my father, that which this man has spoken? So you can imagine, I think Abraham was reading the way and Isaac following. So immediately he failed to convince Abraham to stop going. He now went back and changed himself into a very handsome young man. Even thus he has spoken. And Abraham answered his son Isaac and said to him, take heed of him and do not listen to his words, nor attend to him, for he is Satan, endeavoring to draw us aside from the commands of God this day. Still, Abraham could see Satan in this young man. Okay? How do we recognize Satan? Let us ask ourselves. How can you know that voice is not God? It is when someone comes and tells you to do against God's commands. That is the only secret. And you'll know for sure this is not God. This is Satan. So the moment Satan tried to tell Abraham not to do what God had commanded, he knew kabisa, this is not God, this is Satan. Okay. And Abraham still rebuked Satan, and Satan went from them. And seeing he could not prevail over them, he hid himself from them, and he went and passed before them in the road. Can you imagine? He's still trying. He has seen, I failed again. What did I do? He then disguised himself again, hid himself, and went ahead. Okay? Let us continue. And he transformed himself into a large brook of water in the road. And Abraham and Isaac and his two young men reached that place. And they saw a brook as large and powerful as the mighty waters. Can you imagine? He created a brook. You see, Satan is able to do anything when he wants to deceive you. Yeah, he has powers. So if you are the kind of a person who is after miracles, I think you are in for a rude shock, because Satan can do miracles. This is a miracle that has happened. And they entered the brook and passed through it. You see, this brook is Satan. So when they entered, what will happen? Let's see. And the waters at first reached their legs. The waters at first reached their legs. Okay. And they went deeper into the brook, and the waters reached up to their necks. Can you imagine? They are still walking. You see, Abraham wanted to go and do what God had asked him. Let us continue. and they were all terrified on the account of the water. And while they were going over the brook, Abraham recognized that place. Oh, this place, I know this place. And he knew that there was no water there before. He realized, oh, I know this place. There has never been any water here. Okay. What will happen after that? And Abraham said to his son Isaac, I know this place in which there was no brook nor water now. Therefore, it is this Satan who does all this to us, to draw us aside from the commands of God this day. Again, Abraham now realized, of course, he knew the place very well. I have been passing this road to and fro, and I have never seen this kind of water. The Lord rebuke you. The Lord rebuke you, O Satan. Go away from us, for we go by the commands of God. Are you able to rebuke Satan using those words? Powerful words. And Satan was terrified at the voice of Abraham and went away from them. And the place again became dry land as it was at first. And Abraham went with Isaac towards the place that God had told him. For now, we are going to reach there. Then, we are going to continue. Yes. I want us, you see, the Bible gave us very shallow information. But sometimes it is good to go deeper and see what really happened. Okay? And we have seen from this book, it is called the complete 54 book Apocrypha. This one. If you get it, well and good. You can Google the book of Jashar. So, we are going to continue because later on, Satan did not stop there. Remember, he is going to Mount Moriah, not Carmel, Mount Moriah. There, already, God had placed a sheep for Abraham to come and do what? And slaughter. We are going to see what happened. Because, can you imagine? Abraham almost killed his son. Okay? Until the angel of God had to be sent very quickly. Go. Because he had raised the knife and was about to stab the son. And you see, there already, God had prepared a sheep and it was around there. We are going to read next time what had happened to the sheep, because God had decided that when Abraham goes there, he's going to see, because God had promised, when you go there, you are going to see the glory of the Lord. And Satan heard, so he hurried and did his own things. Okay, I'm not going to continue, but we are going to continue learning, because it is good to know what you are supposed to do when Satan disguises himself, when he becomes an angel of light. Many people say, oh, when I was dreaming, I saw an angel. Sometimes it is not an angel. It is not. It is Satan. Others dream seeing a very handsome young man. You can imagine a lady who is not married, and in the dream, a very handsome young man has come. Most of the times, it is Satan. Okay? So we have to be very, very careful. How do we distinguish between Satan's words and God's words? We have said again, it is when whoever is talking to you is telling you to break God's commandment outrightly. You will know this is Satan. Satan had told Abraham, How can you be silly? You want to sacrifice your son? Are you sure it is the Lord who told you? You see, many people would have said, by the way, this old man is true. God cannot tell me to sacrifice my son. Okay? You start now doubting God's command. And there, you're already inside the trap. It is good to be very careful. We'll continue learning. And until next time, in case of any question, my number is 0722 51 51 96. And I am Naomi or Jesna Soro Media. This is where we learn more. What the Bible does not give us, we dig, we do research, and we go and read. Until next time, may God bless you when you obey His commandments. It's only when we obey that the Lord blesses us. Shalom, shalom.